तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. So we'll continue our discussion on purpose purport. This is one of the important chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam because this chapter is going to explain the birth of Bhagavatam, also importance of pure devotional service. We have discussed that. Now the despondency of Srila Vyasdev actually makes this very important. How if a living entity, in spite of everything, he will remain despondent if he does not understand. And many people, they live without understanding anything. We have discussed this elaborately. Some more points I just wanted to share. Of course, two reasons we have discussed. One, according to Gemini Rishi, he gave two reasons why a living entity feels unhappy. One is we are part. The part will be happy when it is connected to the whole. This is one example. This is one one important reason he gives, and another is that we we can be happy when we serve. This is another. We are looking for something, but actually we need love and we need to serve the complete whole. These are the two important reasons he gives. And now Narada Muni appears here in this 5th chapter with his Veena. That also we have discussed. So first is he is happy, that's why he is always singing and dancing. And if he is trying to explain the same reason to Vyas Maharshi also. Any attempt to find meaning of one's existence without connection with the whole will lead to a failure. And second thing is that the soul can be happy only in bhakti or in connection with the whole. And the second reason is when we act according to our nature. Our nature is to serve. These are the two very important. When we serve, we are very happy. That is why we are told to do Swadharma. Swadharma is our dharma is Jivaira Swarupa Krishna Nityadas. That is our real dharma. That is Jaiva dharma. Now, even normally Swadharma also, if somebody is doing, the advantages we discussed, that he will be happy with that activity and he will not be attached to the result. That comes. Of course, Narada Muni says even that also is not very good. But advantage in doing it is you are not attached to result, and slowly you will come to the next level where you will work without attachment and you gain knowledge, and that knowledge will lead for self-realization. Then you can come to Jnana platform. We'll come in that is the 12th verse. But here we'll start with this very important verse of Bhagavatam. This is the diagnose what Narada Muni said. Narada Muni is answering from the 8th shloka onwards. Narada says, you have actually broadcasted the sublime, you have not actually broadcasted the spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental sense of Lord is considered worthless. Any philosophy, any talks are going on, any seminars are going on, if it is not satisfying the Lord, we will not be happy by attending that seminar. We will not be happy by hearing that discourse. We will not be happy by doing that activity. Any activity, anything we are hearing, doing, movie watching, going anywhere and doing any activity, we go for parties or movies or marriages or any activity in the house or any outing, trips to other places. If it is not satisfying the sense of Lord, we will not be satisfied with that activity. It will just end up in misery. Anything, any household activity also, it should be satisfaction of Supreme Lord. Otherwise, don't expect that it will satisfy you. Marriage, children, house, everything should satisfy the sense of Supreme Lord. That's all. So simple. Are they telling? Yeah, that's all. Otherwise, it won't work because two reasons. Why? We are part of Supreme Lord. Second is we have to act according to our nature. Yeah. And then he says, although although great sage, you have very broadly described the four principles beginning with religious performance, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. You have not described to such an extent the glories of personality of God Vasudeva. I have told about devotional service also, but you have repeated so many times dharma, artha, kama, moksha, not bhakti. That is the problem. And now he says, hey, that literature which you have written, which is not glorifying Lord, what it is considered to? Yes, Vachas Chitrapadam Hareresho Jagat Pavitram Pranita Karhichit Tadvayasam Tirtamushanti Manasa Ayatra Hamsa Niravantu Sikshaya. He says that those words which do not describe the glories of Lord, who alone can satisfy the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since all perfect persons are inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure from there. So, if you are not glorifying the Supreme Lord, first thing is nobody is satisfied. Second thing is they are like the places of pilgrimage for crows. This is how it is considered by them. This is like, oh, this is who goes there? People like crow mentality only go there. So all this Amimam Pushpitam Vacham Prabhavanti Avipasya Vedavada Ratha Partha Nanya Dasyiti Vadana. Kamatma Swargaparam Janmalava Parapradam. So they think, no, there is nothing beyond this. Janmalava Paraprada. That's all. So such a type of people who are attracted to this, they'll be interested in that type of literature. Prabhupada nicely writes in the purport. Now it is clear what criticism Narada is doing to Vyasdev. You wrote a literature which is attracting such crow type personalities. And here Prabhupada is writing, crows and swans are not birds of the same feather because of their different mental attitudes. The fruity workers or passionate men are compared to crows, whereas the all perfect saintly persons are compared to swans. Most of the people very passionate about how to enjoy in this world. And for them, they need that literature. So, what is the difference between good literature and bad literature? Good literature says this world is not a place of enjoyment. Bad literature tells how to enjoy in this middle world. So, that is the main difference. All the literatures which are self-help books, which are motivational talks, which are the books which are now people are using in making how to become a billionaire, or any other literature which is not telling about the glory of Supreme Lord, is a place of pilgrimage for crows. That's all. And that type of Prabhupada writes more elaborately, we'll see. The crow takes pleasure in a place where garbage is thrown out, just as the passionate fruit workers takes pleasure in wine and women and places for gross sensual pleasure. The swans do not take pleasure in the place where crows are assembled for conference and meetings. So all the conference meetings that are going on around in the city, Prabhupada says all the crows are assembled there. They are instead seen in the atmosphere of natural scenic beauty, where they are transparent reservoirs of water nicely decorated with stems of lotus flower in variegated colors of natural beauty. That is the difference between the two classes of birds. Like swans goes to such nice places. All this conference, seminar, this, that, all sense gratification in different ways. Not interested. It's not going to work for anybody. Even a person is very rich. See, if we read second chapter nicely, then Arjuna is asking what is the prajna, and Krishna told the two qualities. He given up all the desires to enjoy. Second thing is satisfied within. Now, unless a person is, and next to two shlokas, how he has given up Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. He is Stitadhir Muni Ruchate. Even somebody has money, he does not have money, but he has these qualities, he will be happy. Because Krishna says, Ashantasya Kutasukam. You will get Shanti when you have given up these things. And without Shanti, you cannot be happy. And that means unless internally person is free from all these things, he cannot expect that he will be happy. He may be having money, he may have facilities, he will be very powerful, he is very influential. All that does not matter because internally he does not have. That's what Prabhupada written, regulative principles of freedom. Freedom is where? Freedom is not external freedom. This is very important. Maybe when we are discussing what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give in our next Saturday, Sunday, I will plan. There I'll elaborately describe. But the very important point, what here Prabhupada is telling, what Nardman is telling is, this is what very important. It's not external, internally how much. So nature has influenced different species of life with different mentalities, and it is not possible to bring them up to the same rank and file. Similarly, there are different kinds of literature for different type of people of different mentality. It's very important. Mostly the market literature which attracts men of the crow category are literatures containing refuse remnants of sensuous topics. But it's very nice. They are generally known as mundane talks in relation with the gross body and subtle mind. Now, all these news channels which have debates and all, they're all crow attracting crow type audience. The audience are crows only. Prabhupada is saying, and of course, Ardhavan is also saying. They're full of subject matter described in decorative language, full of mundane similes and metaphorical arrangements. And yet, with all that, they do not glorify the Lord. Such poetry and prose on any subject matter is considered decoration of dead body. All these movie songs and all, it is there. They look very nice, very attractive, very nice music. They are very sensuous, but they are only in relation with gross body and subtle mind. Because it is on that level, it cannot go deeper, which is at the level of soul and cannot satisfy us. Spiritually advanced men who why some people are so rich throughout their whole life, even if they are breaking four regular principles, so that in next life they get reaction. They are rich because of their past past deeds, not because of the present situation. They are getting their wealth and all because of their past pious activities, and now they are just they're exhausting their pious credits. That's all. They can be rich whole life, but that does not make difference. That is the problem. That is the point Nardamun is telling. They'll get dharma, artha, kama are getting. Whatever formula Vyas Maharshi is giving, if you follow dharma, you get artha, you'll become rich and you can enjoy. But point is you are not satisfied at heart. That is the point. There is enjoyment at the gross level and at the level of mind also. So both type of pleasures are available. But point is, it is not going to satisfy the heart. You will remain unhappy only. That is the point. Yeah. So here, such poetry and prose or any subject considered decoration of dead body. With all that, they do not glorify such poetry and prose. Any subject matter is considered decoration of dead body. Spiritually advanced men who are compared to Swan do not play pleasure in such dead literature, which are source of pleasure for men who are spiritually dead. These literatures, in mode of passion and ignorance, are distributed under different labels, but they can hardly help the spiritual urge of human being, and thus the swan-like spiritual advancement have nothing to do with them. The spiritually advanced men are also called manasa because they always keep up the standard of transcendental voluntary service to the Lord on the spiritual plane. This completely forbid fruitive activities for gross bodily sense satisfaction, a subtle speculation of altruistic gross. Social, uh, literary men, scientists, mundane poets, theoretical philosophers, and politicians are completely absorbed in material advancement of sense pleasure or dolls of material energy. They take pleasure in place where rejected subject matters are thrown. According to Sridhar Swami, this is the pleasure of the prostitute hunters. But literatures which describe the glories of the Lord are enjoyed by Paramahamsas who have grasped the essence of human activities. So very clearly, Prabhupada is explaining this is how people are attracted. It is not just literature, no. Now people There used to be weekly magazines and all. Now they don't read magazines. They read on net only. They have everything. All the books and everything are available on net. And along with that time there were no news channels when Nardmani is telling the Vyasanashi. But the literature is replaced with all these YouTube and all these things like that. And now the next shloka is telling the positive part. Okay, this is all mundane. But you have written very, very colorful, very wonderfully all this literature, which is pilgrimage fonts. But about the Lord, even if you write imperfectly, also no problem. Instead of writing perfectly about mundane subjects, which is a pilgrimage for prose, even if you write imperfectly about, you should have written imperfectly about Supreme Lord, also no problem. That's what is it. Tatvag Visargo Janataga Viplavo Yasmin Pratishlokamabhadyavadyapi Amanyanantasya Shokitani Yat Nvanti Gayanti Gradanti Sadava. This is what Prabhupada writes beginning of Bhagavatam, that no, see, I am not perfect, but whatever I am writing is actually the important message. So even if there are any faults in it, people of intelligence, they accept it. That's what the same translation. On the other hand, that literature is full of description of transcendental stories of the name, fame, form, past tense, etc. of the unlimited Supreme Lord. Is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious love of world's misdirected civilization. Janataga Viplo, this is very important, we'll discuss. Such transcendental literature, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. Prabhupada says, okay, people who are honest, they will appreciate my work, even though there will be imperfections in the compilation. When Hridayananda Maharaj, he no Prabhupada's editor, he comes to Prabhupada and says that Prabhupada, I'm always correcting your work. Pradyumna Prabhu is always correcting. I am finding faults in spiritual master. Prabhupada says perfection of spiritual mastery is whatever he is compiling, Krishna is accepting. That's the perfection. So the perfection is not what you wrote. The perfection is Krishna is accepting, that is perfection. And because Krishna is accepting, you are satisfied and happy. Because Krishna is happy. That is a formula for happiness. Very clear. Narada Muni says, happiness formula which you have given is wrong. Happiness formula is make Krishna happy, you are happy. Very simple. Narada Muni makes things very simple for us. He says, make Krishna happy. All other things is not. Even if you achieve something which is not pleasing Krishna, it's all going to go. But you have not achieved anything. Krishna is happy, that means you have achieved. Next life you'll continue your devotee and you are in the spiritual world. It is a qualification of the great thinkers to pick up the best even from the worst. It is said the intelligent man should pick up the nectar from a stalk of poison, should accept gold even from a filthy place, should accept a good and qualified wife even from an obscure family, and should accept a good lesson even from a man or from a teacher who comes from the untouchables. These are some of the ethical instructions for everyone in every place without exception. A saint is far above the level of an ordinary man. He is always absorbed in glorifying the Supreme Lord, because by broadcasting the holy name and fame of Supreme Lord, the polluted atmosphere of the world will change. And as a result of propagating the transcendental literatures like Srimad Bhagavatam, people will become sane in their transactions. So this atmosphere is polluted, such as with what? Such as with passion and ignorance. And because there is passion and ignorance, all the qualities related to passion and ignorance in the people are found. We cannot do much. When Prabhupada went, that's what he was saying. Oh, this is full of passion and ignorance. How will it work? Prabhupada said, okay, Bhagavatam will work. And it worked also. Passion and ignorance, we should not see, we should not discriminate based on this caste, this color, this religion, that religion. We have to see based on modes. It is passion and ignorance. If somebody is passion and ignorance, then based on that, his taste is also like that, his religion is also like that, his food is also like that. Maybe some other time we can elaborate discuss how that we are what we are our taste. That is the one. And our taste is based on our modes. It's very simple. So what 17th chapter Bhagavad Gita explains. And here also very clear. Here the atmosphere surcharged with passion and ignorance. When we see in that perspective, then we'll not discriminate based on he's Hindu, he's Muslim, he's Christian. It is not like that. It is passion, ignorance. Everything is so simple. We have to see in terms of which modes people are there. Based on the modes, they are going to accept certain things in this world. That's all. The food they eat, the clothes they wear, the books they read, religion they accept, the company they keep, the movies they watch, everything is based on the modes they're in. If they're in this mode, they'll accept a religion also of that mode only. If they're in ignorance, they will be attracted to worship of ignorant, they will be attracted to that type of religion. That is the main important thing. So, what religion will flourish in Kali Yuga? Whichever is in mode of passion and ignorance. You cannot change it. And probability. While preparing this commenting on this particular stanza of Srimad Bhagavatam, we have a crisis before us. Our neighboring friend China has attacked the border of India with a materialistic spirit. They have practically no business in political field. Yet we see that previously they were both China and India, and they both lived peacefully for centuries without ill feeling. The reason is that they lived those days in an atmosphere of God consciousness, and every country over the surface of world are God fearing, pure hearted and simple, and there was no question of political diplomacy. There is no cause of quarrel between the two countries. China and India for land which is not very suitable for inhabitations. Certainly there is no cause for writing on this issue. Due to the age of quarrel which I have which we have discussed, there is always a chance of quarrel and a slight provocation. So you see, this is because of passion and ignorance only. So if passion prevails now, any war that is happening in the world is just fight between the modes. Modes always try to dominate each other. Now, sometimes goodness want to come up, the passion want to come up, ignorance. So passion, ignorance, there is a fight, and this is how it is happening now. This is due to this is due not to the issue, not to the issue in question, but to the polluted atmosphere of this age. See, this is not the issue, the polluted atmosphere. Systematically, there is propaganda by a section of people to stop glorifying the name and fame of Supreme Lord. It's very important. There is a propaganda. Therefore, there is a great need for disseminating the message of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world. It is a duty of every responsible Indian to broadcast the transcendental message of Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the world, to do all the supermost good as well as to bring about the desired peace in this world. No, Bharat Bhumite Manusya Janam Sarthakari Karaparu. Because India has failed her duty by neglecting this responsible work, there is so much quarrel and trouble all over the world. We are confident. This is proper did not go to America. So this writing this one is in India only. We are confident that if the transcendental message of Srimad Bhagavatam is received only by the learned men of the world, certainly there will be change of heart, and naturally the people in general will follow them. Prabhupada writing with full confidence, and future he got this opportunity. Mass of people in general are tools in the hands of modern politicians and leaders of the people. If there is a change of heart of leaders only, certainly there will be a radical change in the atmosphere of the world. We know that our honest attempt to present this great literature, conveying transcendental message for reviving the God consciousness of the people in general and re-spiritualization the world atmosphere, is fought with many difficulties. Our presenting this matter is in adequate language, especially a foreign language, will certainly fail, and there will be so many literary discrepancies despite our honest attempt to present it in the proper way. But we are sure that all our faults in this connection and the seriousness of the subject matter will be taken into consideration, and the leaders of the society will still accept this due to its being an honest attempt to glorify the Almighty Lord. Prabhupada is very humbly saying, I may be fault, but the message is important. When there is a fire in the house, the inmates of the fire house goes out to get help from the neighbors who may be foreigners. And yet, without knowing the language, the victim of the fire expresses themselves. The neighbors understand the need, even though not expressed in the same language. The same spirit of cooperation is needed to broadcast this transcendental message of the Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the polluted atmosphere of the world. After all, it is a technical science of spiritual values, and thus we are concerned with the techniques and not with the language. If the techniques of this great literature are understood by the people of the world, there will be success. The Prabhupada is so compassionate. When there are too many materialistic activities by the people in general all over the world, there is no wonder that a person or a nation attacks another person or nation on slight provocation. That is the rule of this age of Kali or quarrel. The atmosphere is already polluted with corruptions of all discrepancies, and everyone knows it well. So Prabhupada is always telling, the atmosphere is polluted. So it's not just some noise pollution, air pollution, water pollution. This pollution is pollution of consciousness. People's consciousness is polluted, and more it is getting polluted because of this entertainment media. It is surcharged with pollution. The vibrations are everywhere. It's so difficult now. There are so many unwanted literatures full of materialistic ideas of sense gratification. In many countries, there are body appointed appointed by the state to detect the censor obscene literature. This means that neither the government nor the responsible leaders of the public want such literature. Yet, it is in the market because people want it for sense gratification. People in general want to read. This is a natural instinct. But because their minds are polluted with such literature, under the circumstances, transcendental literature like Srimad Bhagavatam will not only diminish the activities of the corrupt mind of the people in general, but also it will supply food for their hankering after reading some interesting literature. In the beginning, they may not like to be it because one suffering from jaundice is reluctant to take sugar candy. But we should know that sugar candy is the only remedy for jaundice. Similarly, let there be systematic propaganda for popularizing reading of Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, which will act like sugar candy for the jaundice-like condition of sense gratification. When people have a taste for this literature, the other literatures which are scattering poison to society will then automatically cease. We are sure, therefore, that everyone in society will welcome Srimad Bhagavatam, even though it is now presented so many faults, but it is recommended by such an authority as Sri Narada, who has very kindly appeared in this chapter. So this shloka also tells the appearance of Srila Prabhupada because he is appearing to propagate Srimad Bhagavatam. These two verses are very important that uh, in that way that literature which is not glorifying Lord, not going to satisfy the heart. Even imperfectly composed, no problem, it will satisfy the heart. That is the main important. And not only literature, any other movie, serial or other things which are entertaining, we were discussing that because there is no prana in the food, that is not satisfying heart. Similarly, any other literatures, the main source, the glorification of Lord is not there, it's not going to satisfy the heart. This is an important shloka. Naishkarmyamapyachyuta bhavavarjitam shobhate jnanamalam niranjanam kutah punashashvada bhadramishvare acharpitam karmedapya karanam. It's a very important verse. We have to remember this by heart also, these three verses. Naishkarmyam. Naishkarma means self-realization. That means they are giving up their karma. Naishkarma. They are doing nishkama karma yoga. But is achyuta bhava varjitam. But it is not having achyuta. It is no devotion. And the knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, do not look well if devoid of conception of infallible God and What then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally painful from the beginning and the transient by nature if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? So, jnanam alam niranjanam. Jnana, karma, if they are not connected to Krishna, that means what? The important point you try to understand here, that on our own we cannot come out of this world. On our own we cannot do much. We need mercy. That's what actually Bhagavad Gita 2.61 also says, where Krishna, he tells many things, but he tells the truth in sorry, he tells the truth in uh, 60 uh, 2.61, where he says that the important the shloka of second chapter of all the shlokas. Why it is important? Because Krishna is telling the truth. Ani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha. So this word matpara is very important. He says you will be able to restrain your senses, keeping them under full control by fixing consciousness upon me. So this is actually what is here. What is important is without Krishna, independently no yogi, no jnani, no karmi can get out. We cannot do it independently. We have to depend on Supreme Lord. Even perfection in jnana, karma, and yoga, perfection is achieved only they have this devotional aspect in it. Even Shankaracharya, he also recommends, okay, worship, Chopasana. So this worship recommendation is compulsory. Nobody can get out of this on our own. That's what Nardamani is trying to explain. Array, on your own, no possibility. You need to take shelter of Supreme Lord, and through that process only there is some hope that we will be able to attain success. That is the important point of this sloka. Anybody, any questions, comment till now? Okay, we'll continue. I will try to explain what is this, what Nardaman is trying to explain this verse, very important. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam is grown out of despair. Vyasmuni was despair, and his attempt to find happiness. And what happens is if a person is trying to find happiness, he must reach to certain limit. And what is the limit? According to psychologists, he will understand he is this he come to a stage of despair. Then that means he is looking things in a wrong place and wrong way, and he will be completely confused. And this time, person he this despair becomes a springboard for a new dimension of life. And unfortunately, most people they find themselves in this condition. They try to get rid of it by artificial means. And when they feel there is a failure or collapse or the feeling that my life went wrong, it becomes springboard. And then they come to this yoga where Arjuna came, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Here, similarly, Vyasdev was despondent. Then now he's sitting and thinking about it. And now, generally, we thought if a person, if he serves others, he gives happiness to others, he should feel satisfied. But even that also didn't work because Achyuta Bhava Varjitam. And now Nardamani says that you have brought this literature which is like pilgrim's first cross. It is just a dump yard only. Nothing is going to work. And but if you wrote some literatures like what we discussed previously, it will going to bring revolution in the heart. There is misdirected, there is a revolution. Now here what Nardaman is telling, Naishkarma apachat bhavavarjitam nashobate jnanam alam niranjanam. Shobate means beautiful. So Ashopate means it is not very beautiful. It says this jnana, even the idea that we are not the body, spirit, soul, this jnana is also very ugly. This knowledge, Naishkaryam, we are trying to understand this this trying to understand the soul and attempts to understand the soul, it is not actually very beautiful. The Niranjana means a successful in attempt. So Niranjana means, Anjana means the ointment, which is massacre, which they apply in the hand. Now this massacre, it is, we have a certain way of looking at this world. Or Anjana, eyes, means we are trying to paint it. That means we are applying. Now Niranjana means you don't have anything. You are just directly seeing. There is no perceptions, wrong perception, direct perceptions. Don't have any pain. We removed all the colors. We're literally able to see the soul. Niranjana means we're able to see the soul. But even that is also Nashobhade. Even you may see the soul, but and but that is not going to be beautiful. Only beautiful thing is bhakti. That means jnana, in the path of jnana, you are able to see the soul. There is a, why it is not, why it is ugly, why Narman is telling somebody is having self-realization, why it is ugly if it does not have if it does not have bhakti in it, it is ugly. What happens is this type of mentality, what comes, there is a story of dungeons. This person, we hear about Alexander. Alexander once approached him and he said, "You want something?" And he says, "No, just move away. I need sun. Now you are blocking me from sun. Oh, I only need this thing." Now Alexander, he said that, "Oh, if I am not king now, I want to become like you." But actually, it is better to be a king than to become this jnani. What happens is they have uh, they have very great contempt. They contempt to this world. They are contemptuous to this world. They say this is all nonsense. This is all. But Bhagavatam is telling that you should not even have that type of hatred to this material world. They say this is all in illusion. They are an illusion. No, Bhagavatam says no, no, no. The purpose is okay. Everybody is sleeping. We have to wake them up. But don't be like that. This fellow, he is. He sees that all this humanity, they are slaves. They are just carrying with this mentality. These jnanis and all. They have this mentality to this general mass of people, and they just reject it. And one time, this dungeons, he calls for people to talk. He calls everyone. In front of them, everybody is trying to urinate. It's like, see, this is how you are enjoying. Such a dirty thing you are enjoying. Now Bhagavatam says, no, 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 no. This is this attitude, contemptuous attitude towards everyone, that is wrong. This is the first point. Because why he is like that? You may look, oh, such a great yogi, such a great jnani. No, these people, they are. This is not going to, what do you say? Not going to make any difference for. Without bhakti, it's all waste only. This is first point. What Nardaman is trying to tell. Shobhate is not going to give any. Is not beautiful. And another thing about karma, he says, okay, somebody is not attached to any of his fruits of activity he is doing. Even that also will not make any difference. First is this jnanis, they are very contentious, they are not very good. And you, but karmis, they are doing without any attachment to their activity. But no, without Krishna, then that also don't work. Kutak punashashwat abhadrameshwari nacharpatam. And the people who are attached, no need to talk about them. They're anyway unfortunate. If they are not in connection to the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada is very nice purport. As referred to above, not only ordinary literature devoid of transcendental glories of the Lord are condemned, but also Vedic literature and speculation the subject of impersonal Brahman. That means, okay, you have written some flowery words in the Vedas which is helping them to go to heaven and all. But even literatures which is helping them to realize Brahman, that is also bogus. When they are devoid of devotional service, they know Shobhate is ugly literature. When speculation on the impersonal Brahman is condemned on the above ground, then what to speak of ordinary fruitive work which is not meant to fulfill the aim of devotional service? Such speculative knowledge and fruitive work cannot lead one to the goal of perfection. Fruitive work in which almost all people in general are engaged always painful either in beginning or at the end. It can be fulfilled only when made subservient to the devotional service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, also it is confirmed that the result of such fruitive work may be offered for the service of the Lord, otherwise, it leads to material bondage. The bona fide enjoyer of fruitive work is the personality of Godhead, and thus the results of such works are engaged for the sense gratification of living being. Those results become acute source of trouble for such false enjoyers. So the source itself becomes suffering because the result is actually very much great suffering for people in general. That's actually what is happening, and this is very important. This three, why we are unhappy. This is Narada Muni is giving solution. No need to do anything. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, like that is only purpose. Any activity not connected to any of these things are helping to do these things. Shramaya Kevalam, you will not be happy. Like I need to work to get some money so that I can chant, read here, and do some service to the Lord. I need to take care of the family so that everybody together will serve Krishna. That's all. So simple. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you said that any activities other than devotional service or connected to devotional service are not helpful and shameva hi kevalam. So, when doing a job, which is not compulsory for me because I have other family members who are earning in my family. So, is it okay to do that or?
If you get time for your hearing, reading, chanting, and if you have some energy, be better to put full focus in and doing service to the Lord. And we need to give our heart to Krishna. We should be eager to render service to Krishna. If you have time, you can have deities at home, serve them, cook them nicely, 3 times nice bhoga, offer them, and nicely when you offer a devotion and when and the family members they eat that prasadam, then they'll also be very happy, satisfied, and you can have nice kirtans, you can hear, read, chant. Yeah, full time, that is the best thing. And now you feel okay, I have some passion, I need to work little outside so that I will feel little more engaged. And you do little, but not that is the purpose. I get some money and I will engage in will invite some devotees to our house, feed them nice prasadam, do nice kirtan at house. So you get extra money to engage in nicely propagating Krishna consciousness. You give some gift of Bhagavad Gita to devotees, give some go for yatras. So like that we can utilize the money if we are getting some extra. Otherwise, the purpose is we have to always think in the direction only. What I can do for Krishna when I do this, what I can do for Krishna. If you are in that mood, no problem.
But in doing job, will have to spend at least 8 to 10 hours, and after that, most of us are exhausted, so we cannot perform that correctly and with full attention. Uh,
If you don't
even
need to do job, then don't know it.
yes, yes, sir. That is my question. Yeah.
If you don't have, then no need to do. You can full time. We have so much thing to do for Krishna. You can do full time job for Krishna only. All the family members
Yes,
will be
because
benefited.
just because others are saying that you should do a job because you have studied so much, that's not the reason, right, for doing job.
No. That is not the reason. You say my passion is to engage in serving Krishna, so I am doing it. Only thing is you will not get salary here. You will get salary, but you will get satisfaction here. No, we should not do for what others say. We should do what is right. If this is right, you do it. Because our purpose of life is, and you are convinced that this is my purpose of life, don't bother about others. They will say for 1 day, 2 day, 1 month, 2 months. After that, they will understand. Okay. For them, some of them, they will think this is God case. But for us, we know this is the right case.
Right, right, right. People
Don't
says
bother about what
such
others say.
things.
If they bother what others say, then we'll not be able to live properly. This is not right, because they are in the pilgrimage of crows. If you are going for sweet water, all the crows will come and say, "Hey, where are you going? Come here. This is a nice feast here at the garbage bins." Say, "No, I'll go for sweet waters." They'll object, but we should not take it seriously.
Yeah, because most of the time the reason is that the people will say that what is the use of studying such so much and not doing anything. So that must not be the reason, right?
Yeah, we say actually I wasted my time in studying, but I don't want to waste it further. Let me utilize it properly now. I
Right.
already wasted so much time in the colleges, which is not any use, which is the, but at least now let me utilize it properly. Of course, it is needed for career, for somebody who need it, that is important. But for you, it is not needed. You say, actually, I already spent.
Right. We
Now,
don't have any money crisis. This is just for a hobby
then you
type.
can tell, see, if I don't work now, I'll give opportunity for somebody else to get a job. So he can maintain his family. So I am doing
Right.
some social service by not taking a job. I am giving opportunity for somebody else to do the job.
Right. Right. Thank you.
We cannot go with what others say. We should do what is right. Otherwise, our life will be wasted. We have done it many times, many things which are not needed, which are not necessary. And by full time, if you possible for you, then it is best, because you can so much books are there to read, and so many things, so many ways we can do service to Krishna. And not only that, we can engage in so many other services, like we can help so many maharajas in editing their books, in helping them in some other services. In that way we can help directly ISKCON and helping the project of ISKCONs to go ahead. There are so many seminars you can conduct, go to colleges, preach to the students, because you have good education. When you tell, okay, qualified people are coming and giving, you can go to schools and give value education, go to colleges and speak if you are having ability to speak. Or you can assist other preachers when they are going, you can go with them, assist them. You can engage in full-time service for ISKCON if you have time and energy. And you can, at home also you can do many services for ISKCON. In that way we have opportunity. If somebody is interested, they can contact us. Some, if they're good in English, we have some editing works, we have nice books to print for Prabhupada. Nice. And if they need some service for making PPTs, we have sufficient services. If they are not engaged, they can contact us, we can give some services.
Yes, Raghuji, I would like to do that if you give me chance.
Your good English is good, then we have some books to edit. Very nice books are there.
Okay, okay, okay. Then I should give up the desire for job.
Yeah, no need. This is also job, na? But you don't get money, you get some transcendental benefits.
Right, right. That is better because since I'm trying to apply for the job. My full consciousness is in the direction of that need of that particular company. But I cannot. I will. I even think about that job even in my chanting also. So it is not helpful, right?
Yeah. What happens is, if if our life is very short, and especially we have to work on our chanting, and if we are engaged in so many activities, the chanting will get affected. That is, as much as possible we have to, you know, dharmasya hi apavargasya. Dharma is only for apavarga. And this is very important for us, that any activity we are doing, if Krishna has provided you all the things, now he wants you to sit and focus on devotional service more. If somebody is not in a situation where they have to work and all, but for you that you don't have that, so better you focus on your devotional service, and try to develop taste for chanting, taste for hearing, taste for reading. That's all. You will be very
Right.
fortunate.
This is the reason why I don't have a proper concentration in anything, because I want to do many things that is not needed for me. Krishna already provided me everything, but I don't know why I am trying to do all these things.
You do now. You do it for Krishna only. I am telling now. There are so many services available in ISKCON. Many devotees will need. Freely volunteers are coming. You have so many services in ISKCON. We can happily do it, and you will be satisfied also. And you can make some videos and upload in YouTube also. There are so many. Like you like some things, you liked it, you heard something, you like something, you record it, put in YouTube. Somebody will benefit it. Like that, I'm just giving some ideas how all you can, what all services available with your intelligence. We can do propagate this movement. We can distribute books. We can if somebody is, if you are nearby a temple, you can do some service in the temple also. Help Mataji is there.
Right. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
This is very important that we should know that what we are meditating at the time of death. Now, this is actually what is going to come. The most, the the most deepest of our sanskaras will manifest at the time of death. That's why we need to do it again and again. I'll tell very important point. Why we need to do sadhana? See, our nature does not change very fast. Krishna made it so rigid. Why did he make it rigid? So, of all the class, try to remember this one point. Why did he make our nature rigid? Because if we change it so fast, then we get confused. We don't know who we are. So today I thought maybe I should be little more passionate, and immediately I become passionate. And then day after tomorrow, I think maybe I should be little sattvic. Now I'm very sattvic. And after 2 days, I'll think, "Arey, it's all boring. I don't want to do anything." And you are tamasic. So you are changing so fast, and you don't know who we are. That's why Krishna made it rigid. So I know, okay, I am school person. I am very shrewd person. So you already fix who you are, then it is easy to act. Otherwise, you cannot predict only. Today this fellow is coming. You know how is your in your family only. Say one of your family members. You know how he is going to act because his nature is fixed. If it is not fixed, na, today is coming very cool. Tomorrow is coming very angry. You don't know how to deal with it. So everybody is fixed like that. So you know how to deal with the person. What happens, the problem is we get fixed that nature. Now to change it, you need to do sadhana, which is for constantly, continuously, for a long time with conscious effort. Then only it is possible to change ourselves. Otherwise, it's not possible. That is the reason we need to have so much time to do it. We cannot do it in overnight. Yeah, when we say nature, it is our conditioning. Yes. Vasanas, sanskaras and vasanas. Basically, we are referring to that. So these things cannot be, these things are very much fixed. That cannot be changed. Krishna made it like that. Change it, you need to put really effort, then only we'll be able to change. And for a long time we have to do it. Then there is some possibility that we'll change ourselves. This is how the system is made. We should work on that in that direction. And why I'm telling is that's why we have very less time, because we need to hearing more, chanting, reading. Then the impression comes. Then the sanskara changes. If we have opportunity to do it full time, we have to do it. Because if you go we are engaged in other activities, it will take our time, office and other things. It will take our time, and then we need to put a little more effort. But we are already having no other problems with this. Better foot in this, do it for a long time. Then there is a possibility that we change of our heart takes place. That's the reason we have to make it full time job. Okay, thank you all very much. Any question? Does nature change after death? because of new karma, new nature. Our death, our next body is based on the nature we have developed now. We are working on nature. We have made some changes. Based on the change we made, we are going to get next body. Yeah, our nature is based on our next body is based on what I am now. If I have developed a nature of a demigod, I get demigod body. If I nature have developed a human being, I'll be a human. If animal, so what I have worked on to change, it will become like that. Sham.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a nice class. Am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes, yes.
Huh. Prabhuji, just remembering that in one of the purports in Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada said that when one takes to devotional service, then it is like declaring a war against Maya Devi. So, so when we just this question came previous that after that once nature changes, so Maya is not testing. I am not pure devotee, but yes, when we try to that I will try to remember Krishna always by doing good chanting, and then remembering and then chanting will be good. But it is like that we mind goes astray, means very quickly the Maya gives some new things and all that. So after that the Maya will see to it that, oh, I have to again test him. So in next birth it will be very much hard that from birth only we will not be attracted to Krishna. Is it like that? But Krishna
No,
says to
Prabhu.
Arjuna that yes, you will be attracted. So how will that means both things come?
When we are trying to become uh, when we are trying to become Krishna conscious, what happens is Maya makes Krishna takes charge of us, but Maya also gives some attraction so that Maya's purpose is not to keep us here. Maya's purpose is to purify us. Maya sees that he does not keep any of the traces because he wants to send a pure person to the spiritual world. He does not want any contamination, a person who is going to the spiritual world. He want a pure person only, and you want to make it pure. Then she want to clean everything. Oh, you have this also. Then when Maya is giving some test, it is showing it is showing our image. See, you're attracted to name fame also. Name fame comes, you are attracted to name fame also. Then we'll see, oh, I fall to the name and fame. So next time when name and fame comes, I'll be very careful. And then Maya shows, Array, you have some traces of lust also. I say, oh, I have traces of lust. I may fall down, but eventually I understand. Oh, I still have lust. And then slowly, wherever test Maya is giving, it is actually showing our own self and where all I have to work to get purified. There is no test, no exams. I will not know where I am standing because I know when I write exam, I say, oh, I have 60% now. Again, I write, I'm 80% now. Again, I write, I'm 90% now. So these are tests help us only to understand where we stand so that what all things I have to work on. If there is no test of name and fame, I didn't get any test on name and fame, but I still have that. How will I know I have attraction for name and fame? Only when I get tested, then I'll know I still have attraction. So let me work on it. Let me get purified. So in that way. Clear, bro?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, when we say nature, like nature is everybody is having different setup of mind. That is nature, na Prabhuji. Like I have my own setup of mind where I have my strength, weakness, my liking, disliking. So you are saying like when we die, when we get different body, that is actually based on karma and that is the nature. So like everybody is getting human body, but every human being is different, na Prabhuji. So this is what I'm asking, on what basis we get nature. Like in this body, I have my own mind setup, and I don't like that. I don't want these weaknesses or strength. So now next life, based on my karma, I will get different setup of mind, or this only I have. Like some people are reserved, some are more spoken. So like these things, and some likings, some dislikings, which we know also we don't want, but they are there in our heart, and these are all only called conditionings, na Prabhuji. So I just want to know, and I have always this question, that after our death we get different new setup of mind, or what, Prabhuji?
We will not get, we will continue. I will tell Mataji. Now, what is karma? Na? See, karma basically is impressions only. Our conditioning is our karma only. It is not something separate. You are not, there is a confusion. You are thinking karma is separate and impressions are separate. The impressions are actually what is, they are manifest like our karma only. Like when you say sanskaras and vasanas, vasanas are basically our karma. Like now, say for example, somebody is smoking. Now the impressions of smoking will remain with you, and next time when he sees some cigarette packet or pawn shop, immediately that will force him to go and take it. So this is formed a sanskara, that formed his karma, and now based on that, now he has, now another thing is he is associated with very passionate people. Now what happens, that creates impression. That impressions are like karma. Now next life what happens, because he has that impressions of passion, he is also a passionate person. Now he says, Arey, why he is so passionate? This is karma is like that. Karma is what? That impressions only. That is what is forming us. Now what we are doing, we are trying to be with devotees. Because devotees no karma only. Get it. But if you are with good people, impressions will form. So next life what? Next life you are a very sattvic, charitable person and all. You have associated with such people. So this is how it works. Like in astrology, when they see, what they are basically seeing, they are seeing your, this person is very cool, this person is irritable, this person is this. How they are able to tell, seeing your chart? What they are seeing is, this is the your association in last life. That association made you like this in this life. You have changed. What changed? The association changed. Now what you associate will be next. Now we are associating with devotees. What changes? Our impressions change. Then that is changing of our karma in that way. You are understanding?
Yes, Prabhuji, but then when we get animal's body, so they have no choice, na. So
And
like
that
they
is
have
that is
same nature, na, Prabhuji. I remember, like so on what basis they get nature, because all animals they have same, na, Prabhuji.
I will tell. This is a, I discussed this in, I think, our
Yeah, Prabhuji, I
yantra.
remember Balram Shakti Prabhuji was something telling about it. Yeah,
I will tell.
Prabhuji.
I will tell. What happens is, animal, the progression happens by its natural progress. A mosquito will become fly next life. It did not work on improving his intelligence, changing the consciousness. No need. It is a natural progression till a living entity gets human birth. Till human birth, the progression is natural. It is directly taken by hereby material nature. When a person gets human birth, then he has to make an endeavor to progress, otherwise he will degrade. That is the speciality of human. He is given special intelligence where he can make a choice. If you take a cow, it cannot eat non-veg. It is just fixed. It nature and everything is fixed. Cow will remain cow whole life. Dog will remain dog whole life. It cannot change. Cow cannot become a dog, or dog cannot become cow in that life. Humans, we can change our consciousness. We can make an effort to change. Somebody is born in aborigine animalistic mentality, he can change his consciousness and he can become a Paramahamsa. Prabhupada made many peace into Paramahamsas. That means humans have this special privilege. They are given special intelligence that they can make this progress, which is not available in any other species. Only humans have this privilege. They are given special. One, they are given mind. Second is they are given these fingers, which is not there in any other animals. Third thing, they are given speech. So these are the three privileges humans get. One is mind, thinking ability, which is not there in animals. These are abilities, special privileges given so that we elevate in our consciousness and go in right direction. And that will decide the next life. For animals, there is nothing like that. They just directly go. For humans, they have this privilege so that they can progress and come to the highest possible consciousness. Highest possible consciousness, from the lowest we can go. The transmigration is natural till humans, but after this we can go to the highest consciousness, like that.
बट प्रभु जी लाइक अभी कोई ह्यूमन बीइंग है बट उसको नेक्स्ट लाइफ कोई एनिमल मिली, तो एनिमल में तो उसका भी नेचर है, वो इंटेलिजेंट है, तो एनिमल लाइफ में क्या उसका वो नेचर कवर कर दिया जाता है, वो ही विल एक्ट लाइक डॉग ओनली, दैट व्हाट आई एम आस्किंग ना प्रभु जी। तो
हाँ
सारे डॉग
अभी
सेम
ओके
होते
ओके
हैं क्या
नाउ आई
प्रभु जी?
अंडरस्टूड
उसमें
आई
भी
विल
पैशन इग्नोरेंस भी होता है, मतलब सारे डॉग्स भी सेम ही होते हैं क्या प्रभु जी? कुछ लोग कुछ डॉग्स देखते हैं ज्यादा भौंकते हैं, कुछ कम, तो इज इट लाइक वो भी 3 मोड्स में होते हैं क्या? मोड ऑफ पैशन, इग्नोरेंस और लाइक गुडनेस?
हाँ नहीं ऐसे नहीं होता है, वो तमोगुण में ही होता है। तमोगुण में थोड़ा उसको सत्वगुण मिल जाता है, थोड़ा उसको रजोगुण मिल जाता है, तो उसके हिसाब से उसका भरता रहता है। ऐसे नहीं कि जो जानवर है वो तमोगुणी है, लेकिन उसके अंदर थोड़ा बहुत रजोगुण और सत्वगुण भी ऐड हो जाता है, तो कुछ कुत्ते तमोगुण और थोड़ा थोड़ा उसका सात्विक स्वभाव रहता है, और उसके ओनर भी सात्विक रहते हैं, उसको सात्विक ही खिलाते हैं, वो नॉनवेज खाता नहीं है, रहते हैं तामसिक रहते हैं, कुछ राजसिक रहते हैं, इस प्रकार से। मतलब हर गुणों का प्रभाव रहता है। अभी अमेरिका के कुत्ते अलग रहेंगे, भारत के कुत्ते अलग रहेंगे भारत में भी गली के कुत्ते अलग रहेंगे और सिटी के अलग रहेंगे, गांव के अलग रहेंगे। मतलब अकॉर्डिंग टू द एनवायरमेंट ना इट इन्फ्लुएंसेस, एंड दैट्स व्हाट कृष्णा इज टेलिंग इन भगवद गीता आल्सो। We are based on swabhava is based on the environment where we are staying. So and the gunas they affect our nature where we are staying, that affects, that has an influence that is there.
Okay,
And
and Prabhu,
another
before
thing,
question,
one
yeah,
important
Prabhu.
point, yes Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji, tell please.
one point is, see now I have done some activities, I have some samskaras. Now there is something called adrishta, destiny, which will take some part of these impressions from few lives and give in the next life. Not that everything will come at a time, only some part will come, and other things will be stored in our prarabdha. Only what comes is prarabdha, which adrishta, the destiny decides what type of body, what type of sanskaras, what type of impressions from the previous life, unfulfilled desires that should be given in this life, and based on that we get next life.
Okay, so this happens in animals' life, some samskaras, but in human life, all samskaras comes, Prabhuji.
No, some only will be given in this life, because all the samskaras are fighting with each other that I want to manifest, I want to manifest. Adrishta says, okay, no, in this life, this set of sanskaras will be manifested. That's all.
Okay, and Prabhuji, like now we are doing bhakti, so now our shraddha is growing, na? So this swabhava will dissolve as more and more bhakti we will do. So with that strong shraddha, like Prabhuji says, na, swabhava is our conditioning, and now what we are doing, swabhava badalna आसान नहीं है Prabhuji, but shraddha जितना strong होगा तो swabhava will dissolve, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Prabhuji. Because the problem is just we don't want this set of mind again, Prabhuji. So is it like कि मतलब ठीक है, अच्छा जैसे हम अभी नहीं चाहते, अब now we want to be different person, Prabhuji.
हाँ अभी आप बदल गए ऑलरेडी, क्योंकि आपको आपका जो टेस्ट है वो बदल गया, आपको इसमें रुचि
टेस्ट
आ
तो
रही है।
बदल गया, बट कंडीशनिंग होती जो लाइक
वो इतना बदलेगा नहीं मत जी, वो ये आपका ये जीवन भर ऐसे ही रहने वाला है उससे ज्यादा आप
तो
अपेक्षा मत कीजिए।
अगला तो चेंज हो जाएगा ना प्रभु जी,
हाँ
अगला
हाँ
चेंज हो
वो
जाएगा।
तो हो जाएगा, हो जाएगा।
मुझे लगता है प्रभु जी किसी को भी, हर व्यक्ति को लगता है कि हम अच्छे नहीं है, तो वही मैं कह रही कि नेक्स्ट लाइफ विल बी डिफरेंट ना प्रभु जी, वी जस्ट वांट टू बी लाइक अ जड़ भरत टोटली रियलाइज्ड पर्सन। ओके,
हाँ
थैंक यू प्रभु जी, थैंक यू।
ठीक
हरे
है,
कृष्ण
बहुत
प्रभु
बहुत
जी,
धन्यवाद। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे
लेट अस
कृष्ण।
एंड।